I would say it kind of depends on what they have access to. I mean, if they have access to most commercial gym equipment that is, a selectorized weight stack with a pin, where there's not a danger of, having to get out from under the weight like you would with a bench press or a squat, I think it's relatively easy. And they don't have to actually absolutely make it to muscular failure. What's important is that they produce a high degree of effort, that they will experience as exertional discomfort, not pain. But you can feel when you're working hard and the fatigue's accumulating. And as long as they're getting in the ballpark, particularly in the beginnings of a program, that's going to represent an exponential increase in intensity in terms of a stimulus. So if they read the book, or any good book on high intensity type training, whether it's mine or Adam Zickerman's or anything that you've written, and just go to the gym and plug in and give it their best effort, skeletal muscle is highly evolved. If you give it something meaningful in terms of stimulus exposure, it will produce an adaptive response predictably. So I think as long as the person's not intimidated, just go in and give it your best effort. It doesn't have to be, to complete muscular failure. Just take it as far as you feel like you can go. And rest assured that if you're doing it slowly and smoothly, that as you exert more and more effort, you're going to be safe. You're going to be literally too weak to hurt yourself. As long as you get to a meaningful level of exertion, the adaptive response will follow. It's just a biologic fact. It's programmed into our genome. So I think it's much easier than most people realize it's going to be. If they're just not intimidated, and they'll go in and get started. It's very important to make certain that you have an intrinsic orientation to this process and not an extrinsic orientation to this process. So the intrinsic orientation is that I need to have some sort of external load applied to my muscles so I can contract it in a continuous and uninterrupted fashion and challenge it so that it accumulates fatigue rapidly. As opposed to, I want to make the most amount of weight that I can pin on there go up and down for as long as possible. You're not there to make the weight go up and down. You're not there to beat the machine. You are simply using that resistance as an external source for your muscles to contract and fatigue against. And your muscles have no idea what that is. And it's important to select a weight that's going to, basically the purpose of the weight is to invoke that level of fatigue within a time frame that is tolerable. And for most people, that's going to be 1 to 3 minute time frame. And anything in that ballpark is going to be fine. And this is very important because most of the equipment that people are going to encounter at the gym is going to have 10-pound plates. And the stroke of those plates is going to be about anywhere from 2 to 3 feet. So that means if you change a plate one more, then you are increasing that resistance by 30 foot-pounds. Now in my shop, I use Med-X equipment that has a stroke length of only 1 foot, and I can make incremental changes as small as 2. So that means I'm progressing my clients when they need to be progressed, and that's only out of necessity. We only increase the weight when their time to fatigue goes too long. But I can make an incremental change as small as 2 foot-pounds. Well, if someone in the gym is extrinsically oriented and they want to put one more plate on there, that's a huge jump. That's 30 foot-pound increase in resistance, when they would have been better served to stay at the prior weight for a much longer period of time and instead just focus on using a form that exploits that weight to invoke fatigue as deeply and as quickly as possible.